Chapter 57 Pale Blue Dot. As the earth rose over the far crescent of the moon, Graham and Bouncer stared back at the little blue-green marble that they called home. It was so small in the great inky black expanse of space, and it shone so brightly, a solitary beacon of life. Do you know, Bouncer, a photograph of planet Earth was taken on February 14, 1990 by Voyager 1. It was about 6 billion kilometers, 3.7 billion miles or 40.5 astronomical units, from Earth and only a few pixels in size. When it took it, you could still make out it was a blue world. They called it the pale blue dot. Really, Graham, that's amazing, replied Bouncer. He was genuinely impressed by mankind's ability to better itself with such great goals and ideals such as interstellar exploration, and he was equally unimpressed by its greed and selfishness. It really is. You know, Bouncer, Voyager 1 and its sister Voyager 2 are still traveling. They were launched in August and September 1977. They were designed to last just a few years, but they are now 41 years old and expected to make it to their 50th birthday. Voyager 1 is over 142.31 astronomical units or 21.289 billion kilometers away from Earth, and on August 25, 2012 it left our solar system. That humans have achieved all that but still quibble over their home planet is a strange situation to understand. I can see what you mean, Graham, but what can we do about it? Asked Bouncer. Well, for starters, we can try and stop Sepulchre, Bouncer, replied Graham. Turning from their Earthrise vista, they both asked Dellie over the comms. So what's first then, Dellie? Well, two things for starters. One, I get you guys back to Earth, and then for two, I am afraid I am going to have to ask you and Graham to get back inside Sollars Towers to gather more intelligence, specifically with regards to Sepulchre's ability to recover the Solarium from Trigon. You really think they can do it, Dellie? Asked Graham. I don't know, and that's what worries me. They are driven and they need the Solarium. My guess is they will do whatever they need to recover the Solarium. Dellie looked worried. I think for the sake of the Trigans we move the Solarium. We cannot afford for their safety to be compromised. I don't disagree, said Graham. But Trigon is so far away and so hard to explore if you are human. I just can't see how they will pull it off. Well, that's why we need the intelligence, said Dellie. Agreed, said both Bouncer and Graham. By that afternoon the boys were back on Earth, safely in their HQ, and their plan had been drawn up and was ready to go. Dellie sat and waited for the plan to be laid out. Okay, Bouncer and I will re-enter Sollars Towers either literally or via Droney and Ringo. We have a good idea of the layout, and even have some blueprints. We should be able to get Droney and Ringo back on station and collect what we need from Sebastian himself if we're lucky. Great plan, boys, said Dellie. I have some fourth dimension things to deal with, so I'll be gone for a while, but keep me updated. Within. Okay, no worries, and let's make it happen. The boys waved Dellie goodbye and made their way back to Sollars Towers. Phasing themselves into drones, Graham and Bouncer flew to the top of an adjacent building. It was going to be a lot easier to rely on Droney and Ringo for this now they knew the layout of the heating ducts. What they did not know was Sepulchre had upgraded their detection systems such that Droney could no longer operate without being seen. Barnaby had learned from both the previous attacks on Sollars Towers and the North African base. They were not going to prevent the infiltration. It was all part of Sebastian and Barnaby's scheme to convince the boys that Sepulchre could recover the Solarium, and in doing so leave Graham and Bouncer with only one option: to recover the Solarium themselves.